Amelia quickly reached out to push the man off her body, and this time Henry was also very cooperative and quickly let go. After that, he turned on the wall lamp. The faint light that shone faintly shone across the room. Amelia sat up and quickly buttoned her shirt, covering her exposed shoulders and clear white muscles with downcast eyes. He raised his eyes and looked at the man. The man got off the bed, showing his handsome face. He was born very handsome, the outline of his face like the work of extraordinary natural art. And his movements exhibited refinement, authority, and a powerful aura. But Amelia didn't have time to admire the man's handsome face. On the contrary, her pupils shrank slightly, as soon as she dared to look up. Because of this man's appearance. "Hey, it's you. He's the man on the train." "Huh, what? So he is her new husband?" Amelia knew that she was going to marry a dying man. And he had done a lot of preparation, but he never thought that the man would be the one on the death chariot. On the train that day, she shouted at him, without thinking that she was the bride who married the son of Green Garden. He must have laughed at her words back then. Henry's thin lips stretched into a smile. "I told you, we'll meet again soon." There was a hint of pleasure in his eyes, and the butler told him that the Wigianto family had come to marry off a girl from the countryside. "I'm willing to marry you, that's Grandma's wish, as long as Grandma is happy. What's more, he's still the same." It's just, was he really like this from birth? He could see with his own eyes how he let the injured man fall to the cabin floor on the train. At this time, a knock on the door sounded, and the voice of the housekeeper Mr. Parman came from outside the door. "Sorry, sir." Henry slightly raised his thin lips. "Come in." Pack Parman pushed. "Sir, Grandma, what should I do with her?" Henry stood upright beside the bed. The man was 1.87 meters tall. He wore a simple white shirt and black trousers, but the expensive fabric looked like a handcrafted version, and every extravagant detail was so mesmerizing that everyone took great care to touch it. Henry lowered his eyes, flipping the shiny silver buttons on his sleeves skillfully with his fingers. He glanced at Amelia and said, "I'm telling you, there are 2 wolves in the backyard of Green Garden. If you try to play with me, I'll make you their food." Amelia's heart tightened. This marriage was ordered by the elders. For elders in the royal family, Mahendra, Gunawan, Hartono, and Siddhartha. The young master of the Mahendra family covered the sky with just his hand. Legend has it that he was the youngest and most handsome in his generation of business leaders, but no one has seen his true face, which is quite mysterious to all circles of the city. Green Garden was in a secluded place, and at first glance it didn't seem like a rich family. Wijaya's family had sent people to investigate Green Garden, and only found out that there were 2 grandparents living in Green Garden, and he was also a mysterious man who was sickly according to stories spread throughout the area. Yulia's biggest wish is to marry off her 2 daughters into 4 large royal families. As a result, Yulia really wants to open the ancestral grave of the Wijaya family and asks how and why did the elders plan this wedding with a mysterious figure. Yulia didn't want her daughter to marry at all, but Zidni had an obedient and devoted mind. She didn't want to break the marriage contract made by her elders. She couldn't sacrifice her daughter for marriage, so Yulia thought of Amelia, and she brought her back to marry the sickly man. Right now, in Amelia's state, the man in front of her was definitely not a high-ranking official, but at the moment he was confused. The man in front of him exuded a high sense of gaze, showing the coldness and grace of his stature, like a king giving orders, and people couldn't help but obey. He also keeps wolves in the backyard, which is no entertainment for ordinary people. Amelia wanted to speak, but at this moment the man suddenly placed his hand on the table, and he narrowed his sharp eyes, showing an expression of pain. The butler's complexion changed drastically, and he quickly said, "Master, I will call the doctor now." Amelia's worried eyes drifted downwards, and her large hands on the table were already clenched tightly, as if they were signs of someone in great pain. Is he really sick? If it was a terrible disease. He must be in a lot of pain. At this moment, Amelia looked at the man's red narrow eyes. Henry turned to look at him, and said to the housekeeper, "Ask him to leave now." The butler quickly said, "Madam, sorry you have to hurry up now." Amelia knew that she couldn't leave. This time she came from Wigianto's house with the aim of becoming the wife of Green Garden's son. Amelia looked at Henry with worried eyes, without the slightest bit of evasion. "Are you sick? What's wrong?" "I know a little about medicine, and I'm good at acupuncture and moxibustion. I might be able to take care of you." Henry pressed his thin lips into a bow, and barely got a word out of his throat. "Go away." Amelia ignored the expulsion. Not only did he not retreat back, but instead he approached him while moving forward. "I smelled the scent of lily, poria, gastrodia elata, and other medicinal ingredients in your body. These are all Chinese medicines for treating insomnia. If my guess is correct and my conclusion is correct, you suffer from sleep disorders and cannot sleep at night." The butler looked at Amelia in shock. "Madam, you..." Amelia's beautiful eyes fell on Henry's handsome face. "How much sleep disturbance do you have, Sir Henry? After the sleep disturbance becomes severe and interferes with your activities, it will greatly affect your mental state, and a very tired body if it is not quickly cured, and along with rest and relaxation, this will make your body uncomfortable and the people around you will feel like it. You will become gloomy, angry, scary, and become like a sick person." The corners of Henry's narrow eyes turned red, and his brows were covered with a gloomy mood. He reached out his hand and grabbed Amelia's neck. The girl's pink neck is very delicate. As long as she squeezes it firmly, she will die easily. "Madam, don't irritate my master again." "Sir, let go, madam." The butler rushed forward in a hurry. The fresh air she could breathe became thinner, and Amelia's little face slowly turned red, but she turned her little hand and quickly stabbed the silver needle into Henry's acupuncture. Henry let go of his hand and sat down on the sofa. Amelia gasped. He didn't want to lose his life on the first day of his marriage. He was also scared now because of many things. He knew the man in front of him was too dangerous, not to mention his mysterious identity. A sleep disturbance alone could turn him from a graceful and elegant man into a monster at any moment. However, he could not retreat and could only step forward. Because he was sure he could handle all of this.
Thank you all. Have a nice day. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe, so that the admin is more enthusiastic to provide entertainment for all of you. See you in the next video.